So for today, I'm going to take you through and briefly touch on some of the challenges that we're currently seeing around the industry. I'll explain what the Autodesk Construction Cloud is and the common data environment as a solution. And I'll take you through some of those capabilities that we have that are helping construction professionals navigate through those industry challenges as efficiently as possible with the Autodesk Construction Cloud portfolio. We'll demonstrate the workflow from the design stage to the field and project closeout. And at the end, we'll have some time to answer any questions you might have. We're all familiar with the everyday challenges on the project schedule on budgets, quality, safety, all things that pose risk to your opportunities. The world around us presents a lot of other challenges, as we all know very well for the last couple of years that we lived, and that ever-changing environment is here to stay. And we're all familiar with what it takes to conquer those opportunities and challenges like these. So today, we're not here to challenge what has worked for you so far. Today, we want to share solutions that make success come easier and more profitably. In the middle of the chaos, a lot of that success boils down to collaboration between companies, between project phases, and between teammates of yours every day of the week. It can feel very hectic, and there's risk at every corner when this collaboration is fragmented in this way. As we talk to customers, we hear repeatedly about these challenges that they face day in and day out. The construction industry is known for its traditionally low margins. Projects are becoming increasingly more complex, yet schedules keep shrinking. Data and information extremely siloed, making much of it unusable. We have labor shortages. We have teams that are becoming more and more distributed with stakeholders split between various offices on the field. And many of these challenges bring uncertainty and risk into the industry. That risk comes in many different forms, as you all very well know. Change orders, delays, rework, possibly unhappy building owners at the end of the day, and even angry phone calls. And these instances happen because sometimes when you can't see the latest RFI response on your device and you're in the middle of a 4, or this engineer referred to the wrong drawing revision in his response, or that change order got rejected because we couldn't prove the misdirection to the owner. Lots of risk in this fragmentation, as you see here, and maybe you've experienced some of this yourselves. As we collaborate and partner with our customers, they keep coming back to 6 teams to help overcome these challenges. To start improving and achieving success, all these don't need to be tackled at once. So we're going to talk about the potential of what could happen if only one or maybe just a few of these were deployed. First, we have the increased collaboration. The possibilities here are endless. With increased collaboration, the phasing of work between trades can be better planned out, leading to fewer delays, and teams are waiting to get into the same area to work or with increased collaboration. Issues and problems can be solved faster and better. We have the single source of truth. So rework seems unavoidable for all of us. However, by working off one single source of truth, teams can reduce errors by avoiding outdated information. We have connected 2D and 3D. Teams arm other teams with both 2D plans and 3D models so they can better understand how components are installed and identify potential clashes before they even hit the field. We have also improved data accuracy. With improved data accuracy, teams can better plan and forecast their projects. Having the most up-to-date view of work complete and project cost allows teams to understand if projects are running behind schedule or over budget even sooner, mitigating the damage and providing more time to get back on track. We also have standardization. By standardizing on one platform, teams can function much more efficiently. There is no learning curve between projects, and company standards are always met. And last but not least, we have digitization. By digitizing many of the processes, the gaps between distributed teams can be drastically closed. So you might ask yourself, how does technology help you find success on construction projects? Well, we have a common data environment. The Autodesk Construction Cloud eliminates this fragmentation that I just mentioned by providing a common data environment and a single source of truth for project documentation of all types. The most accurate, up-to-date information is easily accessible for all project partners that need to be involved across all departments, field or office, internal or external. This is all one unified environment for your project data. This common data environment spans all phases of a job or project as well. We support the entire project lifecycle through solutions in the Autodesk Construction Cloud. This is going to allow for greater standardization and scalability for your company, and it adds visibility over performance and risk that supports your decision-making intel. Every building asset goes through this process. These workflows you see here are very flexible and to align with your unique business needs, whether you're involved in just one of these spaces or all of them. The platform is very extensible too, supporting continued unification expansion. And this is how Autodesk approaches that. You may have already heard of some of the recent acquisitions like PlanGrid or Building Connected in the past. These are all the best class solutions for their piece of the project lifecycle, and integrating and unifying these technologies together allows for the most seamless collaboration possible. The Autodesk Construction Cloud connects data, workflows, and teams throughout the entire building lifecycle, from design to operations across the headquarters, office, and job site. The portfolio of the Autodesk Construction Cloud includes Autodesk BIM Collaborate, Autodesk Build, and Autodesk Takeoff, which are all served and powered by Autodesk Docs on the document management side. Built on a unified platform and common data environment, these modules empower general contractors, specialty trades, designers, and owners to drive a better business outcome. With that, I'll go into a little bit more detail around Autodesk Docs, and let's start with a quick refresher of what Autodesk Docs is. Autodesk Docs enables customers to organize, distribute, and share files in a single connected document management platform. It ensures all team members have access to the same information they need, and it also acts as a team's common data environment, or CDE, and supports document control, things like versioning and approval workflows. Now onto the new features available in Docs from March of this year. For the files, we have now included the description in the drop-down menu values. So when uploading files to an NS Enforce folder or validating file names from the holding area, Autodesk Docs members can see the description of their drop-down options, providing additional information in the UI experience. We have also the Revit file upload indicator, which now members can see if a project was uploaded directly from Revit on the web or if it was uploaded using Desktop Connector. We also have save and rerun search for files. And also on the web, members can save, edit, and rerun search criteria in files and search by keywords or other filters, including customer attributes. On the markup side, we have copy and paste for markups. Members can use keyboard shortcuts or menu options to copy and paste standard and photo markups on a sheet and 2D file. We also have polygon improvements. Members can experience and improve polygon and polyline editing workflow with the new ability to add and remove vertices simply by double-clicking on a line to add a vertex and double-clicking on a vertex circle to remove it. On the Reviews tab, we also have copy markups with approved files. So within a review, project admins can now choose to have markups copied alongside approved files. And project admins can also defer the decision responsibility to the approver. The final approver decides on all existing reviews. We also have the ability to export files from a review. So now Autodesk Docs members who have download permission can select and export PDF files from review and include markups in that export. We also have an improved copy error handling. So this comes in handy when submitting and copying a final review in Autodesk Docs. A new error handling workflow is in place for failed copied files. In the Submit Review pop-up modal and in the Close Review window, members receive an error message to pre-check the permission level of the approver for the selected folder or if the file is locked. After submitting, the project admin and final approver can return back to the error message and click on the Try Again button to retry if the error has been fixed. Now we'll move on to BIM Collaborate and BIM Collaborate Pro. Construction professionals are expressing more and more interest in BIM because owners are requesting it, and also because internally it catches more problems before they become a headache on the field. BIM Collaborate takes the clash detection process and makes overseeing activity from different parties very, very easy. BIM Collaborate features an activity dashboard showing all published models activity from every team involved. It automatically runs cloud-based clash detection across every model into a matrix that makes spotting problem areas even easier. And once those clashes are verified in BIM Collaborate, it allows you to track those issues until they are resolved. It's all documented with all final details in one place. BIM Collaborate Pro also enables design teams to work simultaneously on cloud-hosted projects on Revit, Civil 3D, and Plan 3D. The new features for BIM Collaborate are on the model management side, specifically on the model coordination module that we're going to look at later on. We have the published models to field now generally available. Project members can easily create custom views and publish snapshots of them to folders in Autodesk Docs. This enables easy sharing of refined project models directly from Autodesk BIM Collaborate to field stakeholders on the mobile app. Additional enhancements in the general release include the ability to create custom snapshot names, easier access to the functionality in the Views tool, and special character handling notification when you're saving these snapshots. We can now turn off clash in coordination spaces. So project members now have more control over their coordination workflows with the ability to turn off automatic clash detection when creating new coordination spaces. This gives the BIM managers the ability to load and access models in BIM Collaborate for processes such as model aggregation, collaboration, constructability review, and issue creation, while still leveraging the control and granularity of Navisworks clash capabilities. We also have the Issues tool. The Autodesk BIM Collaborate project members now have access to the dedicated Issues tool, easily accessible through the tool panel and model coordination. Previously, issues were only surfaced in the Clashes tool. This promotes easier access to any issues created in coordination spaces, regardless of whether they were created in Model Coordination, Navisworks, or Autodesk Docs. So you might ask yourself, which collaboration solution is right for your team? Well, choosing the right platform depends on the specific needs of your project and your team. Here is a brief overview of each product and their key features to help you determine which one may be right for you. Autodesk Docs provides a centralized platform for project teams to store, manage, and share project documentation. Some of the key features are version control, collaboration workflows, mobile app access, and document analytics and reporting. BIM Collaborate enables project teams to view, mark up, and comment on 3D models, perform clash detection, and track issues. It is ideal for project teams that need design collaboration and coordination. BIM Collaborate Pro includes all the features of BIM Collaborate plus Revit Cloud Work Sharing, collaboration for Civil 3D and for Plan 3D. Now let's explore Autodesk Takeoff. For estimating teams looking to utilize more advanced Takeoff solutions, Autodesk Takeoff provides 2D and 3D capabilities for creating Takeoff packages of any type. You can customize formulas to generate multiple outputs from a single 2D markup, and these items are individually tracked into an inventory list that is consolidated by a bid package. The 3D Takeoff capability mode allows for instantaneous qualification of objects in your building models with pinpoint accuracy based on the model object data, achieving the highest level of accuracy possible in the shortest amount of time. Under the new features for Takeoff, we have the PDF export update, which allows you to export multi-page PDF, including the Takeoff legend that you've created previously. The Takeoff legend itself has also some updates. You can now hide Takeoff quantities if you don't want them on your final export. And this gives you more control over the information that you include on that final report. You can also search sheets in the Takeoff viewer, and you can now search for text in a specific sheet and then use the up and down arrows to zoom in and out of those search results. We're now going to move on to the third ACC module, and we're going to go over Autodesk Build. So now that you've completed your Takeoff and you're awarded a new job with the most competitive and qualified subcontractor bids, Autodesk Build is the solution for everything project management and field app workflow. This platform was built by mending PlanGrid and BIM 360 solutions into one powerhouse environment that is widely adoptable. Autodesk Build commands entire project budget, including subcontractor pay apps and change orders. You can manage your submittals and RFIs, daily reports, meeting minutes, nearly everything from your desktop and on a simple mobile app. In addition to that, it has user-friendly 3D model interaction from the field too. And from the office, it's a great starting point to begin building your own BIM program or utilizing that model data in valuable ways. By having all these workflows seamlessly intertwined, it allows visibility on all the risks that we talked about a few minutes ago, and it gives teams proactive decision-making on managing those risks. On the build module, we have new features for project management, for field management, and for the handover and closeout phases. So we're going to start first with the new features on the project management side. We have auto specs in the ACC. For those of you who are customers of the Construction Operations Bundle, you can now leverage the auto specs to automatically generate comprehensive submittal logs, compare specification versions, and identify potentially missing submittal requirements. On the submittal side, we can now reopen unreviewed items, and members can now reopen these submittal items that were closed before they were fully reviewed. We also have report improvements, and we can now customize this exported submittal items list and the items details page by deciding what options to include in these reports. On the RFIs, we can now create RFIs for markups straight on the mobile app. And while we are on the Sheets tab on the mobile app, we can create new RFIs for markups, and we can also add links to these existing RFIs after we created them. On these schedules, we can have now a suggestion summary Excel report, and we can filter these suggestion tables as needed and export them to Excel, and further extending the use of suggestions made at their status. We're going to take a look at these scheduling tools later on in the demo. We also have the Microsoft Project Custom Attribute support. And when importing schedules from Microsoft projects, we can now have access to custom attributes within this schedule. Custom attributes are also available while filtering the schedule, and the attribute columns can be toggled on and off for easier consumption while in the list view. Moving on to the field management, we have some new features for forms. We have the form description column. We can now update this column in the forms web view and display the form description. On the issues, we have due dates in the issues template, and we can now create issues with default due dates within projects. We have also managed fields in the issue detail report, and teams can select what fields are displayed and the order that they're shown in the issue detail and summary reports as well. On the issues panel enhancement, the side panel enhancement and file view will now include all issues from files 2D sheets and 3D views. Clicking on an issue listed will display the specific view or sheet that the issue is located on with its relevant information. We're also going to see this later on in our demo. We also have new features on the Photos tab. We can now partially download photos from the mobile app, and we can perform a partial download of photos when syncing projects instead of a full download. We can choose to download photos from the past 7, 14, 30, or 60 days. For the management of assets, we have model mapping, which now contains a filter. And when mapping and defining an asset in a model, we can now have the ability to select contains as a condition rule and type a text value, providing more flexibility to the assets workflow. And now we also have resizable columns when we're looking at the assets in a table view. And finally, for document management on the Sheets tab, we have the ability to now filter by location and discipline on the mobile app. So if you're in your own mobile app, you have now improved filtering experience for Sheets with the new ability to filter by location and discipline. This new capacity allows field teams to narrow the scope of their search and focus only on the data that they need. Now, for today's demonstration, we're going to look at the workflow possibilities within the Autodesk Construction Cloud through the phases of any project, from the design stages with design collaboration or model coordination to estimating with Takeoff and the translation of all these processes to the field with Autodesk Build, all the way to project completion and handover. And we're going to see how Docs is the document management solution that ties together all project stages and phases. So the first thing that we're going to do is to access the Autodesk Construction Cloud. And here we're going to be taken into our project home, where we have a list of all the projects that we are a part of. As you can see here, you can filter these projects by number, by the company or account, the data were created on. You can also access the platforms from here. If we go to My Home, you have an overview of the responsibilities that you have as a member. You also have a map that shows where your projects are located. You have some recent items that have been uploaded. If we go to project templates, and here we can create a new template or take a look at the ones we have. So creating new templates can be from blank or from an existing projects, which I'm going to do here. So I'm going to do a very quick template sample number 1, just to show you how it works. Then I can select my account and I can select the project that I want to use as a starting point. I hit create template and it automatically takes me to project administration. And here I can add members to my template or just edit the details of the template and select if I want to publish it for other members to be able to use it as well. If I go back to the permissions, I can add members, as I said, and now we're going to go back to My Home. And we're going to move on to the project side. So in here, if I click on a project, I select the project that I want to go. It takes me to the sign collaboration in this case. But we're actually going to first see, if you click here, you view all projects, it takes you back to the same starting page, but we're going to go to Autodesk Docs first. So in here, we click on Docs. And we're now going to move on to the Docs side. So in here, we see the files, and it says here that you can move for the field folder to the project files folder now. So this is the main event of the document management side of things. This is the common document environment for all projects. As you can see here, I have my architecture folder. I have my Revit Workshare Cloud model in here. I can click on this Revit model and it will automatically take me to my 3D viewer. So in this 3D viewer, I have all my issues that have been created. I can filter through the 3D models and my 2D sheets. I have my list here of sheets. I'm going to click on this A103. And as I can see here, I can zoom in and out, see all the details that I need to see. But the most impressive feature is my compare feature. So I'm going to compare this version, which is version number 36, with the version number 10 of the same sheet. So I'm making sure that I have the same sheet on both. And then I can click on compare. And it will automatically bring up a window which is showing me all the changes, what has been added, removed, and modified. I can also filter to changes on different disciplines that are involved in this project. I can toggle these changes by discipline on and off. And I will normally have a list displayed here, but because we have so many changes, we have surpassed the limit of items that can be displayed. Another thing that we can do in here is we can zoom in and see some of those colors highlighted. We can also change between seeing it in overlay mode or in a side-by-side mode, as you can see in here. I'm now looking at both versions side-by-side, version number 10 on the left, version number 36 on the right. And for exiting this, I can X out on the corner or click on Exit Comparison. So now if I click on these 3 dots for this folder, you can see other options that I have, like permission settings. And here I can add or remove members or see who has permission to do certain tasks, such as edit, and also permissions are set up by role. Also, if I click here, I can add as many subfolders as I need to. In this case, I'm going to add a subfolder called Archives, which I want you to pay attention to because this is how I'm going to show you that this is the same document management environment for all platforms. Another thing that we can see in here is the Reviews tab. I can here create reviews or manage reviews that have already been created. I can create transmittals. I have all my issues, the same ones that show up on my 3D model that we saw before. I can also create reports from here. I can also add members. If I click on myself, I can see here the products that I have permissions for throughout the platform. I can change the access level and I can add a company and a role. Roles are very important because that's how we determine the permissions that we have for other members. So I'm going to move back to the files management area. just to show you how to upload files. You can choose files from your computer or drag and drop them in here, and they will be uploaded as well. And we're now going to move on to BIM Collaborate. So to move on to another platform, it's very simple. We just click on the upper left corner and we select where we want to go. So we're going to design collaboration now. So in here, we have this on the architecture team. We have this model that we've published, and we have a project model which has 120 sheets. Here's the same sheet that we were comparing just before. So again, same document management platform, same documents. We have a couple of tools in here, like, for example, the Revision Cloud tool that I can add. I can add a Revision Cloud in this store. Right here, I can edit the details of this Revision Cloud if I need to. I can add links to this Revision Cloud, such as maybe the manufacturer's manual. And once I'm done, I can publish this and everyone with access to the sheet will see it. So also, if we take a look, it shows you all the information of what was published in your package or the package in the Revit model. And if we go back to the project model, it's the same 3D viewer, but now geared towards design collaboration. So we can, of course, orbit and pan towards our model or through a model. If we click on an issue, we'd see some details about that issue. If we click on the activity log, we see what's been going on with this issue, who created it, Roger on the 4th. For example, we can navigate to another issue, and we can also edit information on it if we have to. And again, review the activity, what has been happening, who did what and when. We can also compare 3D models. If we exit out of here, you're going to take a look at our swim lanes and we see each of the teams involved in this project, when they last published the package, and if we consume this package or not through the whole cycle of the project. If we click on project model, it takes us again to our original 3D model. But we also have the issues tool here. In this moment, we're only seeing issues on the architecture team. We also see here the project status, where it was published and when. We have details of these publications. And if we go to changes, this is very interesting. So in here, we can actually add things that we want to keep a watch on our models. So this group is already created here, but I'll create a new one. So I'm going to select my active team, in this case architecture. I'm going to select my architecture model, click on next, and I'm going to add what I want to watch. So if I click here, everything's going to be selected, but I actually only want to select the roofs, just to show you, and the stairs. So before I click on next, the stairs, and now I'm going to name my group roof and stairs. And you can see here how it says 26 items. So it's selecting all roofs and stairs on my model. And now we get confirmation that my group has been saved. So if I click on it, it says here that 26 things are going to be watched for changes. I also have my meetings tool, my reports tool, and my members tool, which is similar to the ones on Docs. So now we're going to move on to the model coordination side of things. So again, we click on the left upper corner and select model coordination. So in here, we have a list of all the models that have been uploaded and when they were uploaded and the actual folder path where they're located. And we can see how many clashes each model has. So we're going to select this first coordination model. And it's going to take us to, again, the 3D viewer, but now geared towards coordination. So this model, because it's a coordination model, contains models from all disciplines. So if I click on the model browser here, I can browse between each of the disciplines and toggle them on and off, depending on what I want to see. So I'm right now only looking at structure. Then I can, if I want to, only look at the electrical elements and so on. I can also do this for individual elements. Like I can show, I don't want to toggle my roof off, but I can do that for anything that's modeled on my Revit file. It's going to show up in here. So I can do the same thing for my windows. And if I click on clashes, it also shows me an overview of clashes on the 3D side of things. Again, I have access to all of my issues. In this case, all issues are included, and I can create new issues as well. So it's telling me to choose a position. I'm going to choose this window here, and I'm going to do a new issue just to show you how it works. And if we go to clashes here, we can see which models have which clashes on this very convenient table view. So now we're going to take a look at Takeoff side. So again, we click on the upper left corner and go to Takeoff. And now it takes us first to our home. And if we click on the Files tab, again, we're in the same document management environment from the very beginning. You can see here my folders, my architectural folder, and I have my Revit model, which I'm not going to publish. So I need to publish any sheet or model that I want to perform a takeoff on. So I'm going to go ahead and publish it. It should be fairly quick. It's already been published successfully. And now I'm going to click on that model just to show you the 3D viewer. So this 3D viewer, it's only to see the issues, but it's not the 3D viewer for Takeoff. So another important thing that we have to do is check the settings of our project before we move on. Anything that we have to change or any location that we might have to add, and then we can move on to the packages. So before we start doing Takeoff, we have to make sure the settings in here are also set up. So we need the measurement system, and we need our classification system, which we can import. We've imported this previously, but we can edit it or re-import the file if necessary. So I'm just going to show you here what the classification system looks like. Of course, you can have your own custom one. And we can also add a second classification system if we need to. So now that we're set to go, we're going to create a package. So we click on Create Package, and we're going to say this is a Takeoff sample, number 1. And we'll create the package. And now we click on it to start with Takeoff and estimating. So in here, it just shows us the sheets and models that we have available because they've been previously published. But I'm going to just show the 3D models for now. And I'm going to select my architectural model. Now, again, we have a 3D viewer here, but this 3D viewer is not going to be geared towards quantifying elements, which is very important. So in order to start the Takeoff, we have to create a Takeoff type. We currently don't have any created in this package. So we click on the plus sign and we start by naming our Takeoff type, which is Windows, and we're going to select the color. So in here, we edit the details. First, we choose the classification system. In this case, I'm going to choose exterior windows for number 1 and for number 2. And then the unit of measure is going to be count. And I have my formula already set up for me. So for the output name, I'm just going to go with single pane windows, just to show you what it looks like and how to go about. And once I'm happy with that, I can then take a look at the model mappings. Click here, and it will, if I select the windows that I intend to count, it shows me all the details about the windows based on my Revit model. So the better the Revit model, the more information I will have. And now that I'm done, I'm going to click on Save. And I'm going to start the Takeoff by selecting the Takeoff type and see my windows already selected. So instead of clicking on each separate window, I can just right click and hit the Select All Fixed. And this will select all the windows in this model that have the same characteristics as my first window. So if I'm done and happy with that, I can go ahead, click the check mark, and all my windows will be marked. If I hit the cluster tool, I can see my model taken apart by objects or parts. And if I zoom in my windows, I see here the pink ones are the ones that have been counted. But I can see the rest of my windows, and I can make sure that I don't miss any of them. If I click at the inventory, you can see here that all my windows are accounted for. And I can export this as an Excel file at any point during my Takeoff process. And I can also go back to Sheets and Models. So I'm just going to show you a Takeoff package that has more Takeoff types on it, just to show you what the inventory looks like. So if I click on the inventory here, I see all the information. So now I'm going to just open it on another window just to show you that we can filter through all the elements that we've added. We can filter through the classification system or by Takeoff type. And we have here all of our quantities, all of our units, and of course, the names of the elements. And also, if I click on Sheets and Models again, I can filter through what has Takeoff on them already. So if I click on, for example, this sheet here, and I zoom in, I can see that some of the fixtures in here have been already accounted for. And I can also see this warning telling me that the scale for this sheet has not been set yet. So that's very important. If I were to perform an area Takeoff in here, I would need to do the scaling first. So if I click on an architectural model, again, I see here those colored items. That means that those are already in my inventory. So if I just click on the cluster tool once more, I can see here how it also shows me what has been counted on this viewing mode. So I'm going back to the 3D model now. And if I navigate through here, I have all my information in one place. So also the tabs, the files, the members tab are very similar to the tabs on the other platforms. So now we're going to move on to Autodesk Build. So we click on Build, same way, left upper corner. And in here we have our Home tab, which is just information about our project. We have, of course, the project name, the progress bar. We have work status, what's going on with the site weather for the week. We have also recent activities. And if we move on to the Sheets tab, we have a list of all the sheets that we have published or that have been published. If we go to the files, again, the same document management platform for all of our projects. Here's our archives folder that I told you to pay attention to. In here, I can also submit a folder for review or create a transmittal based on a folder. If we click at the Issues tab, we have the capability to look at all the issues that come all the way from the design process. If I click in here, issue 124, I can see the details, the description, who it's assigned to, in this case, Jim. And if I click on the activity log, I can see what has happened with this issue throughout the life of the project. I could create a new issue here if I need to. And now moving on to the Forms tab. So in here, my forms, I have templates that come by default on the ACC. But you can also import your own templates or create your own templates from scratch. If you click here on your forms again, you can have the list of the forms that are already there. If I click on one form, it shows me the contents of the form, when it was created, and who it's visible to, viewers, editors, and managers listed. Also, I can copy this, export it, go back to my forms list, create a new form based on a template, a sample in this case, or a daily report. I can add all the information that I need. I can add a location for this specific daily report or any reference of photos, issues, or files already in my project. And if I'm done, I can click on submit, but I'm not going to do it this time. Also in here, I can export a report of my forms on PDF or on an Excel spreadsheet form. And now moving on to the Photos tab. And here I have all the images that have been added to the project from beginning to end. I can filter to these photos by the location of where they are or where they have been taken. I also have a map tool. I can zoom in and see where specifically these photos are located on my project. So this comes very handy when you have a project that spans, 2 years, 3 years, you have all your information in there. If you clicked on a photo, you have all the details, when it was uploaded and by who. And you can also just download the photos and build if you need to. If you go to the RFIs tab, you can manage all your RFIs. You can export them and report or create one. If I click on this one, for example, I can see the review workflow. I can see what question that we're posting or that it was posted. And I can even submit an official response because I'm a review manager. So I'm going to say RFI sample reviewed here and click on submit. And I can now say close and distribute and just select the watchers for this. So I'm going to select Jim, and I'm also going to select my colleague Pug Villegas as watcher, and I'm going to close the RFI. And now Jim and Pug, I'm going to get an email saying that this RFI has been closed. Now, if I filter through status, I can see the one that I just closed right here. I can also, on the settings, watch permissions and other information. If I click on the submittals tab, I have again the list of all my submittals in here. I can click on one and see the submittal review workflow that was added. Just so you know, you can create many custom reviews for the different type of submittals that you might have throughout your project. You have an activity log here that shows you what has been going on with the submittal since the beginning and all the way to the end. I can actually close and distribute this submittal. And I'm going to say here, this is received and reviewed. And my responsible contractor is going to be Jim again, and I'm going to have Cook as a watcher. And then I'm going to select the save the submittal to my files. So I can select the folder where I want this submittal to be saved afterwards. So it's going to be construction administration. And now that I'm done, it's going to tell me here always. Now, if I move to the meetings tab, in here, I can create my meetings. I can add a link if it's a virtual meeting. I can add a meeting name. I can add the agenda, the discussion. I can even add attachments to this meeting. I can invite members of the project or non-members, which are then are going to receive an email saying that they've been invited. And I can add reference such as files and sheets also to the meeting. So now moving on to the schedule. If I click on my schedule here, as you can see, I have now the split view between list and Gantt, but I can select only to see it as a list or a Gantt table. I'm right now in the view, but I'm going to go to the suggesting. And here I can make as many suggestions as I want. And I can update my schedule simply by re-importing my file. And just quickly moving through the assets tab, I have different assets here that I have been added. I have some air handling units. Some of them have been delivered. Some of them have been installed. I can create a new asset if I want to. If I move to the reports tab, I see the same report environment, the same one that we were seeing. I can download this report or I could create a new one based out of a template. And if I move to the bridge tab, this is very, very impressive. I can just connect different projects throughout my organization, maybe for files that I already have or forms that I want to reuse, like this one, for example. If I go to bridge projects, I can bridge a new project simply by entering the email of the person that I would like to bridge a project with. So in this case, I'm going to do consulting on microsolresources.com and just send the invitation to bridge a project. The person will get the invitation, and then when they accept, they will start. So if I click on any of these projects, I can see what information is being bridged between my project and that one. And now going back to the home, and just to show you quickly the cost management tool. So this is actually one of the most powerful aspects of Build. You can see here my original budget. You can see here how my budget is trending. I can even edit my budget in here. I have all the information and the most up-to-date. If I click on files, again, we have the same document management side. So I have my archives folder that I created in the beginning, and I'm going to show you also the insights of what it looks like. So this is a dashboard that shows the big overview of the project with my weather, my address, my current RFI, submittals, and issues. I can share this with stakeholders. I can share this with the owner of the project. There's also a dashboard dedicated only to design. So everything that we saw on design and model coordination is here. We have also a dashboard for project controls. We have dashboard for quality, and we have a dashboard for safety. We can also create our own dashboards with custom content, and we can choose if we want to share this with other project members or not. And with that, we're going to go back to our project home. I just wanted to show you a quick overview of what the workflow on the ACC looks like. And I really want to show you again this slide. So now that you have a better idea of what I was describing earlier and how having this project data unified seamlessly in one place is cutting waste, reducing risk, and increasing profitability as an outcome. All these solutions share the same cloud environment, they're scalable, and most importantly, they're easy to adopt and simple to learn. Before we end today's presentation, I want to briefly reiterate what makes the Autodesk Construction Cloud different from other collaboration software platforms. A unified framework built for execution and scale, which is truly mobile native and simple to use for teams of all sizes. Today, we'll look at the challenges currently affecting the construction industry and how the common data environment of the Autodesk Construction Cloud can help professionals navigate these challenges with efficiency. And with that, we conclude our technical presentation.